Welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and we are on to our Funky Fold Friday. So we have been all week looking at the stamp set Endless Love, which is this beautiful stamp set here. It comes with 16 stamped images, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of which are images, and the rest are all sentiments. It also comes with a wonderful die set. There are 13 of those in total. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 big hearts, one little heart here, a plethora of hearts there, some hugs and kisses, an arrow, a sentiment strip, 2 small arrows, and some more hearts. So let me show you those, because this really is the first time we're actually looking at the dies properly. Okay, so as you can see, these, I've got some of these are out. So we've got the little hearts, which we're going to use in this card, and I've also got this heart that fits there, and we've got the arrow as well. So there are the dies that we're going to be using, and you've got these little row of hearts which you just put on one strip, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cut out instantly. So that is the dies. I introduced you to the papers. We had a quick run through on Wednesday. If you would like to see the papers, please pop back to my Wednesday video and you will see them all there. So today's Funky Fold card originated at Christmas from a friend of mine, Uta, who had created this card and sent it to us as our Christmas card for this year, which I thought was beautiful. Really, really good, quick, easy card to make, she said. And then she sat down and realized there was a few more details to it, but it is very striking. I hope you agree. So this coming up is my Valentine's version, which is this one here. So as you can see, it opens up. Now what I haven't done, this one has been left open, whereas I stuck this section down. I think I'll go back to having it the way Uta did it, which is open, because it just gives you an almost ziggy-zag card. And then you've got, so when it stands, whoops, hello, it can stand like that, and people can see the whole card, or if you want to, you can just close it up. Right, so let's bring in the supplies and we can begin with our version for today. So the first thing we've got is a piece of Poppy Parade, which measures 12 inches by 4 inches. So I've used the two-tone cardstock for that. I have also got, she says, got some dies, some stamps I have not put on blocks, so let's quickly do that. One there. You know when you think you're all ready and you're not? It's not a good look, but there we go. Right, so let's have a look. So I have used 2 dies, 3 dies actually. I have my heart die. I have this cluster of hearts, and I've also used a white arrow. This is the red heart that came from Wednesday's card. So if you didn't, as I say, if you see, pop back to Wednesday's, you'll see why I've got that one spare. Let's pop out my pokey tool. And we can want that one. So this gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hearts. I've got a big one, and then a medium, and then you've got 4 small ones. The strip I am putting the hearts on is a sentiment strip. It is 5/8 by 3 3/4. Those two aren't going to move, so I'll just pop those gently down to there. Okay. Let's bring in our designer series paper, and we can, oh yes, and I've got a white heart as well, which is the same as the red, using this die. Okay, I think that's all the dies done. So we've now got designer series paper. So the first two I have got measure 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. I think I've cut them in a strip. So they're going to go one there and one here once we have scored the paper. All right, make sure your paper's the right way round. There we go. Then I have a piece that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 squared. And then I have another piece which is 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Then there are two pieces of white cardstock that each measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. You need two of those, of one of which you're going to run it through the embossed folder. And that is the Hearts of Love embossed folder that goes with this bundle to make up the suite. Okay, and basically what you do is making sure that your line is spaced up. You're going to pop your white piece of card in, run it through the embossing machine, and it comes back looking like that. So as you can see, there is one big heart and then lots of little hearts creating this archway or rainbow effect. Okay, I think that is all of the pieces that I need, and I've used the sentiments. I've got a cluster of hearts, I have got a medium-sized heart, then I've got the happy, I've got hugs and kisses, and I'm also using Valentine's Day. Right, so they are all the supplies that we need. Let's push these aside and we can make up our card. I'm just going to keep those, try and keep those hearts all in that little piece of paper. No, that's fallen off, never mind. And we can begin. So I think the first thing we need to do is to do our stamping. So we're going to need that 3 3/4, and we're going to need, I can pick it up, my white heart, and I am going to need to use that strip for the sentiment. Right, I'm going to use real red, and I'm going to use bubble bath. Okay, right, so let's have a look and see what we've got. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the word happy onto here, and I shall use that in the real red. My aim is to put it in a position where there's enough space all the way around it for me to add a heart to it. So let's see what we can do. I do apologise, the lighting in here is all of a sudden gone very dark. Let's pop happy here. Okay. Then I'm going to pop, get the red out, we'll do these ones first. So this is Hugs and Kisses. Again in the real red. That will sit in the middle. Oh, that's Hugs and Kisses. And then I'm going to use the Happy Valentines, which will go on this strip. And as it's such a long sentiment, I will take my ink pad to the stamps rather than the other way around. Right, now I'm going to try and get this on here. There we go. There's a little dip there. Wondering what I was doing. Haven't gone totally and utterly doolally, just a little bit. So straight down and straight up. Use my pointy tool just to peel it off. There we go. So there's Happy Valentine's Day. That one can go aside. Now I'm going to bring in my bubble bath. So on here, I'm going to use my little heart. And that's just going to go there. There's that one. And I'm going to bring this one in. And I'm going to use my cluster of hearts. And I'm just going to pop that up there like that. Right, so that is all the stamping out of the way, she says. Just making sure, yep, there absolutely is. Right, we can get rid of the ink pads, and now we can start on the scoring and putting the card together. So the first thing we need to do is to bring in our long piece of 12 by 4, bring in my my cut and score machine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 2 inches with my bone folder. I'm going to go 2 inches, and I'm going to move it along to 4 inches, and then I'm going to move it all the way up to 8 inches, all the way up to the 8 inches, like so. Okay, so there are my score lines. So the far right hand square, which is 4 inches by 4 inches, is going to come over and meet into the middle here. Go, and I'm just going to make sure that that is, there we go, folded nicely. Then we're going to do the same with, we've got 2 rectangles here. So the rectangle that is nearest to the piece that you've just folded is going to go in. Okay, and then you've got the rectangle that's going to come back on itself, and you can burnish. All right. Okay, so let's add our pieces. So I've got, so look, I've got my 2 pieces here. I'm going to go one either side. I'm just going to use my glue, my multi-purpose, to put those in. I think the heavens are about to open. It's gone so dark. There we go. One into there. Try and make that a little bit straighter. I don't look like I've got it on the wonk. There we go. There we go. So the next piece you're going to do is the piece that has the hugs and kisses on, so the bit you're going to write your message on. I'll go onto there. That fits into there, like so. Make sure that is straight and I haven't just knocked it off. Then we've got our next piece which goes into there. So we're going to, so as you can see, that is the reverse of that, the hugs and kisses. Okay, so let's just add glue to that piece. And that can come over here like this. There we are. Perfect. And this piece comes over on itself, and you're going to put your embossed piece of paper on. Okay, so you need a bit more glue on that one just to help with the pattern and helping. There's enough glue on the page. There we go. Okay, that then goes like so. I'm measuring it so that it lines up with this. Then you've got your other piece, which is the 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that is literally going to fit at the bottom of this section here. And again, I'm just going to use it with the glue. Fix it with the glue. Right, there we go. Let's just make sure that is correct. Right, now if I fold this over, we want to put a heart somewhere. I've got the cluster that I cut. I'm just going to pop it into the middle there. I'm just going to put some glue on it just to hold it down. Stick it to my fingers, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. So let's work out where I'm going to put it. Roughly about there. You're just going to hold it into place and make sure that it sticks. I think we are doing well there. Oops. Come on. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are, we're holding it. So now what am I going to do? I know we're going to put my happy at a jaunty angle here. Now you could put it flat or you could add dimensionals. I think on this one I'm going to add dimensionals. The others were flat. So let's bring in some pieces that we can just chop up and then add to our backs. There we are. Right, let's get a pointy tool. So when we're having it at a jointy angle, we don't want it at the edges, so it's just mainly in the middle. So let's go. That's 2 there, so that's 1, 2, and then 1 at the top, like so. Let's pull that off. 1. Stuck to my finger. There we go. Come on. There we go. And then this one goes over. Bring that in. You've got happy there. And then we're going to bring in our Valentine's Day. And that is going to stick onto there. But obviously I'm not going to stick it all the way through because I don't want it to stick at the bottom. So the best way of doing that is to work out where you're going to have it, turn it over. So rather than pick it up and turn it over, you're just going to flip it upside down that way. Okay, and then you know that your glue is just going to go on this section here. As long as you can keep it in place. There we go. So then you just turn that over. Hold it in place for a couple of seconds, making sure that it lines up. And what I've done is I've left a gap here, but I've made sure that this line lines up with the paper there. Okay, so that's that one. Then what you're going to do is you can now open your card. You can put your heart in here. So we're going to stick that one down flat, like so. Okay, keep it straight. What you will notice is that the right hand heart shape bump shape is slightly larger than the left hand side, so it's not a symmetrical heart, shall I say. And then we'll bring in our white arrows, and again all we want to do is stick that down. So I'm aiming just to go down the middle section and hopefully that the glue won't stick through. So very, very thinly I'm going to do that, and then you're just going to pop that down like so and hold it for a couple of seconds. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could add the remaining hearts to your printout ones that you cut out ones that you've done. Put it like that. Or you could leave it. Actually, let's leave it. Let's leave it. Less is more, as they say. So that is our final card for Endless Love. I hope you like it. I'm big thank you to Yuta for the beautiful Christmas card and the inspiration for today's. So let's bring those in. I will burnish those down so they stay a bit better. Okay, that one. And then, of course, there is my Christmas card. So thank you ever so much for joining me this week. I hope you liked these cards. We'll be back next week with another set, so do join me then. Take care, everybody, and have a lovely weekend. Bye.